Virgo, thanks for joining me for your reading for this full moon in Cancer, which is today in the Southern Hemisphere, 18th. I think it's, I was thinking it was the 19th. Anyway, it resonates as a continuum. Full moon in Cancer. We've got a shortened Celtic cross for you, but just before we begin, I'm reading just a paragraph from a random page that I have just put my finger flicked through here. This is a wonderful book, a Taschen book, the Book of Symbols, very lyrical, beautifully written, and amazing artworks, antiquities, just beautiful stuff over the centuries in this book on the symbology of basically everything. It's fabulous. So what we got for you, Virgo, is, interestingly, bone. So let's read the first paragraph. Seemingly laughing, the skeleton poses jauntily before us. It suggests that something hard within psychic life happily endures even when the body dies. Since human and animal flesh decays rather quickly after death, leaving the bones behind, bone is a tangible reminder of the loss of life and at the same time alludes to something substantive that transcends the death of the bodily flesh. I'll just read a little bit more because I don't want it to appear to be dark. While Judaism and Hinduism tend to avoid bone symbolism on the grounds that anything associated with death pollutes, Christianity and Buddhism engage the image of bone as the immortal part of a person. For both, this is concretized in belief in the healing, life-giving potency of particular bones. In India, the cremated ashes and bone fragments of the Buddha were contained and venerated in I'm having a tongue-twisting moment. Structures or stupas, which pilgrims visited in order to participate in the essence of the awakened one dwelling in the bones. Similarly, in African Gabon culture, funeral rites for a valued ancestor include exposure of the corpse until only the hard white bones remain, fragments of which are gathered in a bundle guarded by a carved sacred figurine and placed in a special hut. Here, the ancestral spirits residing in the bones are accessible for consultation. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it is a little bit dark, but of course, it was a random flick through. Anyway, I think Capricorn got blood, so all the others are sort of more animals or landforms. Anyway, Virgo, let's get stuck into it. We've got your cards face down in this shortened Celtic cross. So we start out with Temperance, which is a timing card. It's alchemy. There's a waiting period somehow for you. The Chariot wants to move very quickly. This is quite a female card, quite a feminine card, and of course the Cancer crab. Crabs don't move in a straight line, do they? It's more like a zigzag. Interesting. There's timing involved here. The Chariot might be feeling a little bit frustrated, but there's balance. It's just a matter of time. The Chariot cannot move without this consummate balance. So it does indicate there's a fair bit of work that's gone on to achieve a balance where it's natural. Nothing's forcibly harnessed here. It's natural. There's a natural flow. And with that natural flow is a natural timing, Virgo. The basis of this reading is the Four of Discs, a very rigid structure, a very strong structure. In this Thoth deck, power is called, the card of the Four of Discs is called Power, and there's one way in and one way out. and that is through this material world. Virgos are very practical people. Very practical people. We speak of balance. Of course, the four corners here in the structure, like a fortress, very balanced. But there is only one way in and one way out. We can broaden we can be a bit more flexible. Can we allow something, can we afford or allow something to be let go of? Is this something to do with timing? Letting something go a wee bit? Let's see, we will clarify. What's just behind you? Wow, we're getting interesting. We're getting the Tower coming up a lot today in various readings. What's behind you, Virgo? So there's timing involved. There's question whether something needs to be released in order to speed things up a wee bit. What's behind you is the Prince of Swords. Thought forms carry this figure left, right and centre. There's no direction in this card. There's a purpose for that. Of course, there's a purpose for everything. So he's been or she's been pulled willy-nilly, left, from here to there. Yeah, there's a reason for this. It's a state that doesn't really last long. I guess sometimes it's good to feel, that there's no direct target or there's no goal actually in sight. But of course, we don't want to sit in that position for too long. This is behind you anyway, Virgo. It's as if, maybe you just let a little bit too much go at some point, and, we're sort of getting a little bit lost, you could say. Anywho, current position, we have the Tower, an infusion of new thoughts, a clarity, a desire to rebuild something, a desire to pick through, to break down something in order to renew it, rebuild it, or that this is just an infusion of new energy for you. Virgo, with the Eye of Horus there, there's great movement and clearing and cleaning in that Tower card. Ironically, as we move forward, we come to the Knight of Swords, a great opportunist who has a target, and there's nothing stopping going from A to B. There's no deliberation. There's no farting around, for want of a better term, in this sort of goalless zone. This knight is propelled forward to the goal, to the end point, to the beginning point, whatever way you want to look at it. One could not be more, more of a contrast from the other, actually. So this is good moving forward. Very zeroed, very focused, very focused position moving forward. Let's have a wee look, Virgo, at Temperance here. See what Temperance is for Virgo. Timing. We get, it often happens, we get the Tower again. Timing. There's a right time to do a big clean out. There's a right time, Virgo, there's a right time to just let something, just release something. Even if it's little, just a little something. This is the key here to this timing. is allowing something. It's like, making room. Can we look at the Chariot, please, just to really confuse things even more? The Chariot, yeah. The Emperor. There's a little bit of a restrictive, as is in the Four of Discs. In the Emperor, there's restrictive qualities as well. Controlling. This is on one side of the coin, of course. Restrictive. It's a powerful position, but it asks for sticking by the rules and levels of restriction. Something's sort of pushing you, or you feel like you've been, possibly, for some Virgos out there, remember this is a very general reading, that you're being pushed a little bit, that maybe you do not want to let something go here, but it's going to be beneficial to do that, if this makes sense in any way. Virgo, let's have a look at what's behind you, because there's a level of confusion behind you, which sometimes is necessary. We come to interesting conclusions. Yeah, I think it's about having I never say too many options. Having options is really good, but the Seven of Cups is assessing that, and sometimes there's a hell of a lot of confusion here. Very hard to be direct and opportune and take advantage of opportunities when there's quite a few on offer. Some may well be slightly illusionary, with Neptune doing some interesting things in the cosmos of late. So that totally, very confusing. So understandable. Wonderful to have options, but a period of assessing those. So there is a reason for that Prince of Swords. Can we look at the Tower in the current position, please? Yeah, I would imagine, there's a shift here from one side of the reading to the other. Big energy shift. On one side, it's like confusion, all these options. What direction am I going? What am I going to choose? On the other hand, we've got the direct action of the Knight of Swords, which we haven't clarified yet. But what we are clarifying is, at this current juncture, at this point in time, Virgo, the Tower. What we get for the Tower is, and often these two cards do go together quite nicely, we get the Ten of Swords. So this is the end of a cycle, and it's like an aha moment. We see the understanding in the gesture of the hand in the Ten of Swords. It's an aha moment. There's no more room for any swords. It's 10. We've gone through that whole suit. So what do we do to facilitate movement into a new cycle? We make like Hanged Man. We enter Hanged Man zone, where not a lot coming in, not a lot going out. There's a reason for this, because this is a point at which we change our perspective in order to continue. There's a key in the Hanged Man that allows us, yet again in some ways, an epiphany or an aha moment, and suddenly it's like, wow, okay, I see it. I see it. This gives me new impetus in terms of direction, this shift. In the Hanged Man, there's a shift of perspective, which enables us to act upon that. Because in the Ten of Swords, yes, the end of a cycle, yes, an aha moment. We can have an aha moment. It doesn't mean that our pathway from that point on is clear. The Hanged Man indicates that it is clear. See what I mean, Virgo? So moving forward with this Knight of Swords propelled, absolutely charged. Let's clarify the Knight of Swords for Virgo, please. Moving forward. For Virgo, this Knight of Swords, eye on the prize. Eye on the prize. This is where we really start moving, clearly. But this is where we can, with that Chariot in the central position, this is where we, as a moving, whether we're a crab going, in a zigzag, we're still making progress. In this under the moon, we're still making progress with the Chariot, because the Chariot is works in progress. We're bringing form from primordial, from the primordial seas, from the smallest microbe, we're creating physical form in the Chariot. And we get the Chariot with this Knight, so we're moving fast. This is when the Chariot comes into his or her own actually. It's a very female card. Can we have some more insight, please? More insight for the Chariot. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, we get the Six of Cups, beautiful six. People returning from the past in a very simplistic sense. It is memories from childhood memory, memories from childhood, the ability to give without anything attached. But memory. We have also, this is to clarify this new direction with the Knight, very purposeful, opportunistic Knight, travelling at speed with the Chariot, works in progress, travelling at speed. Memories from childhood, a level of detachment. I would suggest here that a level of detachment is what you've learnt from these three cards, especially the Hanged Man. Maybe that's your shift in perspective. It is the beginning of a new year. I think there are there's a lot of reviewing going on. There's a lot of memory coming back to us and sort of entering us in, entering the emotional body, stirring things up a wee bit, is what I get from this. But it's allowing you to, in cahoots with the Hangman, allowing you to understand that detachment here is actually, emotional detachment is a key. It's not to say that you're avoiding remembering or avoiding certain memories. This is necessary to trawl through that. That's where you find the gold. Sometimes that is where you find the gold, Virgo. So, I guess in all of this, what did we actually clarify? This Four of discs at the bottom in terms of what we want to let go of, or what do we need to release, Virgo? Did we? There's way too many cards there. What we need to release. Just one card, please. If we do, in fact. If we do. Oh, look, I take, I'm speaking, we're speaking, we're getting a bit deep, on a deeper angle to this reading. I would suggest that the thing that comes to mind with these cards, with child memories, and clarifying that Four of Discs, I think we clarified it twice, but going a little bit deeper, I would say there's a lot of father memory happening. There's a lot of father stuff going on for you at the moment, Virgo, and that's it can be a wonderful thing. It can be for some painful. It can be bittersweet. But on a deeper level, I think there's some element of that going on in your life, and you're feeling it. You're really feeling it in your emotional body at this time. But of course, these are, it's all gold, it's all grist for the mill, isn't it? These are golden moments where we manage to see something from a new perspective. So anyway, I'm going on a bit here, Virgo. Let's have a look. Kim Cran's Animal Spirit card. We're awake, we're aware. We've been a busy little otter. And we're looking through many different lenses, actually, at the same time. We're looking through many different lenses, seeing new things is what I get. Telescopes, cameras, lenses of all kinds, microscopes. We're looking through many. Interesting, and working quite hard, little otter. With the Journey Map cards, we get Lady Luck. It's a very beneficial card. With these readings for this full moon, I'm reading them out from my book, which I don't normally, but I just wanted to do it for a change. So we have Lady Luck. Lady Luck. Here we have her with her cards. Number 25, keywords: intention, synchronicity, self-belief, and trusting flow, and the timing of that flow, Virgo. When Lady Luck appears, she tells you higher forces are collaborating to orchestrate and synchronize good fortune. The idea of luck, you may think, is merely a matter of chance. But when this lady spots you in the crowd of life, you need to trust it is now time to go with your inner flow and fancy. Take note of your whims. A sudden desire for sea air, Virgo? A desire to start that new project, Virgo. When she appears, you are warmly encouraged to believe everything you touch, every thought that arises in your mind is a potential of great future fortune. She asks that all you need is to continue with true intentions. She is happy to do the rest. Lady Luck. Lady Luck is smiling upon you, dear Virgos. So I hope you found that of interest or insight. And take good care. And we'll see you next time, Virgo. Okay. Cheery.